Good morning. Happy Tuesday. That music gets me every time. I really enjoy it. But what do we have going on today? Tuesday morning brew. First off, good morning. And what are you drinking? What coffee do you have in your cup? I am drinking still Brazilian beans. I roasted some Mexican beans yesterday and they turned out gorgeous. It's the darkest brew that I've been able to manage, and I'm going to try it tomorrow, but it's probably has so much caffeine I don't know, might explode. What do you think, Lou? Explosion by caffeine? Good morning. We'll find out. I'll have to post about it, but this one, highly recommend the Brazilian beans. Of course, you got to roast them at home and be bourgeois like me. I don't know. What's going on in Path? Good morning, Dylan. Art team is trucking along. I would love to show you some of the things that they're working on, but I can't because we talked about like issue 7 is such a big moment and it's a huge reveal, and I don't want to spoil nothing. I want you to go into that issue knowing what you know from those first 4 pages from the Kickstarter, and that's it. Like, that's all you get from me. So I won't be able to share art, but I can share some other stuff. We got our poker cards in. So of course we got Lola, Queen of Spades. Great smile, heart of rot, I guess I would say. Very happy to shoot you in the face. She's bad. And then of course we also unlocked the 8 of Spades. So everybody will be getting these 2 new cards for your poker deck. Just as a reminder, we unlock these every 50 backers on the campaigns. And so the way to get more of these every campaign is to help share the campaign so we get more backers. Does not matter the dollar amount, just matters how many backers we get at the end. So we were close. We were not quite at 150, so we unlocked 2. Another thing I want to show you guys, for those lucky few that were able to snag a sad pancake, I have them in. And they are packaged. They have this cool, it'd be cool if it would focus, but it's one of those wax seals with a skull on it. Green for sad pancake, of course. So 4 of these going out. These were a lot of fun to do. And you also get a Zombie 13 custom vinyl sticker to go along with it. And one last thing I want to share. For those of you that know that I do the custom books, here's the custom book that I've been working on for the campaign. This one is Dean Koontz' The Bad Place, and it's just about ready. I printed the HTV. I cut it. I cut the HTV yesterday, so I'll be ironing that on, and then this will be complete too. So it'll have front, back, and spine. The one lucky person that got this one. This is a gorgeous book. This turned out great. So has some blood splatter on the inside, and it's just kind of, where Jude's going in issue 7, it's a bad place. So I thought this, book would be the one to do. Anywho, just a reminder that if you missed out on campaign, we still have late pledges turned on. You can grab, would help if I gave you, I'm terrible at giving you guys the links. I know. I'm much better at giving everybody the links to the guests that are here. But here's the links. Here's all the linky-loos. This is to issue 7. Good morning. We did get another late backer sneak in. And I love late backers. I love them because it just shows that we're still growing. So we ended at 135, and now we have a few more. So 138 backers. Things are still moving. Can go in and get books. Sadly, if you want that hot sauce, you got to get there during live campaign. Unfortunately, all the merch is turned off. Well, I gotta order it, right? Am I right? I gotta order the things, and I need like 3 people that have done T-shirts to do their survey. So please, if you have not done your survey, go log into Kickstarter. You don't gotta check for your emails, and just go to Kickstarter. It will pop up. There's a red banner at the top that says, fill out a survey so you can get your cool shit. Well, it doesn't say that, but it's pretty close. Anywho, enough about me. Do you like my hat, by the way? I'm going to bring in my guest today. He's a wonderful artist, truly talented, and first time on the show. And I'm very excited to pick his brain Everybody, please welcome Gerald von Stoddard. Good morning. Upstate of mind. I like it. What are you
Good
drinking?
morning.
Huh?
I'm drinking 2 shots of espresso with a splash of almond milk.
Oh my God. Speaking of explosion by caffeine, it does make
Well,
it.
fun fact though, espresso has less caffeine than say like a Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's just more concentrated, but the lighter the roast, the more the caffeine.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought the darker the roast, the more caffeine, and that's why we roast dark, is because it releases the caffeine.
Well,
I'm gonna have to Google it.
now you're gonna make me have to Google it again. By the way,
I know.
best intro ever.
Oh, you like my frying pan and
N-
the
I
chainsaw.
mean, it's like, oh, we're just making coffee. It's like this, like, oh, hey, I'm Laurie. Welcome to the morning brew there. Hey there, bud. And then it's like, wake up.
I mean, this is kind of how I roll. I smile real pretty for the camera. I clean up nice, and then like people actually get to know me, and they're like, "She's crazy."
And by the way, every time I see this stuff you make, I'm like, you're like the homesteading queen of indie comics.
The what? The homesteading?
Homesteaders. You've never heard this term?
Yeah, where you do all your own stuff.
Yeah, you're like the homesteader queen of indie comics. I'm like, what are you doing? You're
That
cutting
I
up
feel bad.
jackfruits, you're
I
making sad pancakes with a wax. I'm like, who wild, really cool.
just me. I'm crazy. I always feel bad. Our mutual friend Chad is always like, Lori, what are you working on today? I was like, well, I'm 3D printing Big James. I'm making some granola and I'm binding a book. Oh, and I just stamped all my boxes for my hot sauce. And he's just like,
It's like, wait a second, when are you making comics?
oh
No,
yeah, I did that too.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
Like yesterday, I was lettering the book for Jared Lockhart, Books
Oh,
of Riot.
cool.
And
Yeah, yeah.
so we're halfway done lettering with his book. But then I also made hot sauce candy.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
I know. I'm so terrible. People, that's why this one, especially this guy, he's always like, that bitch. He says it with love, but
Yes.
you're hosting the morning brew. You should know your coffee stuff, woman. What? What did you say? Lighter brew means it's roasted less. Less loss of oils means more caffeine. I swear that when I was researching roasting coffee beans, that they said that's why you go dark, is because you have to roast the beans in order to release the oils. So we'll figure it out. And I'll give you guys all an update next week on the Tuesday morning brew. How about that?
Well, a fun fact too is, I live in Italy
Oh,
majority of the time of the year,
oh,
and
you
we
do?
don't we call espresso coffee.
Mhm.
Like when you ask for a coffee, there isn't this buffet of like the way it is in America. Like, oh, you want a light roast? You want a medium roast? Oh, you want a light medium roast? Or
Yeah.
like espresso is comes from an Italian word, but no one uses that in Italy. Not that word
You
is
just
never said. You go, I'll give you an example. I go get my coffee every morning, drop my son off at the school bus, go get the coffee. But sometimes, someone will ask for an Americano, which is espresso and hot water.
just
So they
watered
don't,
down.
it's just watered down. But
Yeah.
the roast is the roast. You don't get a say in the matter. You don't get to buy a bag of like different types of roast. It's coffee, which is kind of keeps it really simple. I went to the grocery store to buy coffee the other day. I was having a panic attack. I was like, what
Yeah.
is all of this? But I saw one
Yeah.
with like a glow in the dark skull. I go, I don't know if that's good, but the packaging won me over.
I have to say I am guilty of that too. Usually when it comes to buying bottles of wine,
Mm.
the image that's on the label is usually what I'm choosing because I haven't met too many wines that I dislike. I'm just like, ooh, it's a red. They're all Pinot, you know what I mean? But this one has a skull on it, so I'm buying that one.
There you go. That, That's how you do it.
Isn't that funny? See, this is why it's important to have a good image on the cover of anything that you sell, including comics,
Yeah.
because people are purchasing based off of what they see. You like how I tied that together? Yeah.
By the way, I'm not going to say anything yet, but I
Oh,
may have done a cover for you already.
what? I'm sorry. How would you do that? How would you?
What do you mean?
You
I
just
I did it.
you
I
read you
did
read Path and you were inspired to.
I did a thing.
What do you? You're gonna have to show it. Well, show me later.
Well, it's not totally done, but
Okay.
the sort of zombie cowboy, that's done.
Yes.
And there's one other character in the foreground that I hadn't really started penciling yet. I just was inspired.
Thank you. I love it when I love seeing any kind of art path related. And like working with Jared, you and I were both part of the Inktober.
Indie tour.
Uh, yeah, from Travis Gibbs last year.
Yeah.
And so I was so excited to be a part of it, but I was on day 28 of the month.
Mm.
So by that time, people are
Yeah.
usually giving up.
Well, it's funny because I was doing it every single day,
Oh, I
and
felt so
then it
bad.
was like a few days
Hard.
before there was like yours and a couple other people, and I had no time. I couldn't do anything
No.
then, and I was like, I really did want to do Path of the Pale Rider, and there was a couple other ones that I really wanted to do so because I was doing like every day for like 2 weeks, and
That's
I actually got
crazy.
I think like 6 cover jobs out of Indietober.
See what I mean? And then when I started seeing it, that's where I was exposed to your art too. And that's when right there I was like, I would love a Gerald cover.
Yeah, so I'm starting to get. I didn't really get to do Pale
I know.
Rider last year, but we'll do something even better.
Yeah, cool. But that's where I met Jared too. And so like here I am lettering for Jared and he sent me the Indie-tober art that he did for Path last year. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. Like now I remember,
Yeah.
that we've talked to each other before. Cause sometimes it's like there's so many people moving in the same circle. It's like, did we talk before? We did, didn't we? And then it's like, oh yeah, no, I remember.
Yes.
That's why everybody needs to come on my show so I can get to know everybody's, history and influences and what they do. And it's just like once you build your community and network, it's so cool and it makes such a difference. Chat
No, it
is
makes
awake today. I can't even
yeah.
keep up with all the stuff they're posting. I know Carrie, she's like, I want to see Gerald's POTPR art.
At
You'll
first, I
see it.
was like, potpourri art. What is that? And
Path
then
of the
I
Pale
know,
Rider.
right? Then I.
It's just such a long name. I was like, we gotta abbreviate. But it makes a nice hashtag too. And like I post stuff, it's like POTPR. So
Well,
all right.
When Frank and I are working on our comics, a lot of our titles are really long. We have like
Mhm.
nicknames for them,
Mhm.
and if we said them out loud, no one would know what we're talking about.
Right.
They're like these stupid nicknames, but we know what we're talking about because we're not saying the name over and over and over and over again.
Right.
We have like a
What
project
other
coming up, and we're
you?
just like, oh, this one's called Moon Boy. It's not the title of the book. That's all.
It's like when they do movies and they're like they have the clapper and it's like a different title because they want to keep it secret. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
related, but it's not like that's not
Right, right, right. Exactly.
YouTube channels, this is on mine. Again, so the Madness Entertainment Group will be pushing to Roku. So hello Roku, how are you? By the way, I got a banner for that. It's this one. So you can catch this show live, which is great because then you can ask questions and you can participate in the chat on YouTube, both on Madness Entertainment Group and on mine, which is Laurie Calcaterra 360. That's where you want to go if you want to, do the live stream. Also on Facebook, I think we're live on X and a couple channels, Rumble, Twitch. There's a few. But after the show, some of them will be taken down unless there's a Kickstarter attached. Like if we're pushing a campaign, those will always be up there. But a lot of them will come down, but then they'll go to Roku so you can go watch them there. So just so everybody knows how that's all working. But come catch the show live because that's a lot of fun. Then you can interact with us and tell me that my hat looks good. Mhm. Yeah, that's what we like. So Gerald, one of the things I love to do when someone's on the show for the first time is I want to know your origin story. I want to know like your journey and how you got here. Everybody comes to comics at different times in different ways. And it's always interesting to me how we end up in the same place, you know? So I'd love to hear from you, like how you were interested in comics, like what age were you, what were you reading, or what influenced you? You were an artist, so art wise, what influenced you? And then ultimately, what was it that you were like, I got to do this for myself, you know?
Well, my parents were super wealthy. We went to see a theater show one night, and
Oh, wait a
we were
minute.
we were walking through a dark
You're not
alley.
fooling me.
There was a mugger. He had a gun. It was really just horrifying. They, sorry, no, that's Batman.
Gerald has just
Um,
admitted to being Batman. Good morning, Al, by
um,
the way.
yeah,
Of course
Gerald
he
in
is.
the chat. Yes, buongiorno. Um, So, boy, I mean, there hasn't been a time that I can remember that I wasn't into comics. It's not like
Yeah.
I didn't come into it late. I feel like I was, and it was like one of those things where like maybe when when you're older, you're a teen, you're gravitated towards things that you might not have gravitated towards when you were little, or maybe you grow out of something. Um, I don't think there was really a reason. Well, I'll say this. I have an uncle, and we're close in age, and he was an artist, and he was a cartoonist, and he would do these cartoons on pieces of wood, and they were all over my grandmother's house. So the first memories I have are just she had like a big picture of Jesus, and then like all Hanna-Barbera cartoons that my uncle was doing on these pieces of wood. And so he was really in it. He was very good. He was really good with wood, and I mean, he actually is an incredible artist. He doesn't really do it anymore, but so I grew up sort of watching him and fascinated. I was very much into books since before grade school, and so I was always reading. And I think it was, if I kind of remember correctly, there was this old. Oh my God, I forgot about this. My mom she knew I really liked books, and my family's not big readers. So she was a hairdresser. She still is, but there
Mhm.
was a shop, this guy, and then just picture just this guy in like a wife beater and like 50s, sort of button up with the end of a cigar, big guy, like, "Arr," you know, um, nice guy though. I don't remember his name, and he had this sort of used bookstore, and it was kind of a dump. And
Mhm.
he had these boxes and boxes and boxes of comics, and he did not care if I was there all day.
That's
And
cool.
he even offered me lunch, so I would just sit there while my mom was working and just go through these boxes of comics. Sad Sack, Richie Rich, Archie. I mean, there was God. I can't remember every single one. Once in a while, I'll come across like a heavy metal, and I got scared. Someone would see me reading it.
They're like, "No, no, 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 that's not for you."
Well, he didn't care.
Yeah,
Um, and so that was really how I got into actual comic
that's
books.
cool.
And I couldn't wait to go back. And then I never really told this story before. I'll tell you this story. I did not draw or have any aspirations to write. I didn't even know if I could draw. When you're in grade school, you do finger painting and
Yeah,
dumb stuff.
yeah.
I was in a
Turkey
terrible,
hands.
yeah, but I was in a terrible accident when
Oh,
when I was 7, and I was in a coma.
oh my
Um,
gosh.
and they didn't know like how bad it was. and I came out of it like almost 48 hours later.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, I was a different kid. I never really felt creative. I couldn't go back to school. I was wearing this big bandage around my head and this big gash like along my jaw. And my uncle had some paper and pens and pencils, and I really loved what he did, but I just wanted to do something different. So I remember I drew I drew all these Disney characters as vampires, and
We're friends. Because
I didn't.
that was me as a kid, and I didn't even have a head injury.
But I loved it, and my uncle was really cool. And he's like, "That's weird,
I
but yeah,
definitely,
that's fun." And
yeah.
yeah, I just that was it. That was the beginning. That was the beginning of just sort of falling in love with drawing, and I knew then that what I wanted to do with my life. I used to send like letters to Marvel and things like that when I was little, like on a typewriter, and then draw some art and put it in an envelope and ask my parents to go get help.
Oh, oh no, you're still there. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Gerald, come back. That was a really interesting story. My gosh. I was gonna say too, this is something that I write into my comic is like it's so interesting to me about how your brain works and how and this I swear this happens to people if they get like a head injury, they change how their brain is wired and they can do different things that maybe they weren't interested in before or it's just really interesting to me how brains work. Welcome back.
Sorry, that's
Sorry.
weird. What's up with technology? Someone tried calling
Uh,
me, and then it just
the
made everything
FBI
go
doesn't want you to share that part of your life. It's a secret. Don't tell the secret of by the way, Chad says you still finger paint. And
Yeah.
then he says that you drew all the Disney characters as princesses. Arthur in a ball ground was awkward. And then Disney got you. That's funny.
But
So
I
we
mean,
heard,
yeah. So I mean, I was
yeah,
subconsciously into cartooning, but in a dark way, and that really never
yeah,
kind of
that's
left. Like I never really
interesting.
wanted to do superheroes. I read superhero comics, but I was really into weird stuff, and then I got into like kitchen sink comics, and I got into Fritz the Cat, and then it just like kind of snowballed, and then the '90s Vertigo stuff, and yeah, I just always wanted to draw comics.
Can I
I just
ask you a
got
question here?
yeah, yeah.
Were you watching, a lot of us in horror have inadvertently got into horror by watching horror movies probably a little too young as children. Do you
Mm.
think you fall into that category as well?
Yeah, I just think it went hand in hand, but the
Yeah.
horror movies that I liked were of the B and C quality. I was obsessed since I was a teenager. Like, well, I mean, if you think about it, like, I grew up in, well, primarily the 80s and
Yeah.
then my sort of post-adolescence in the 90s. But in the 80s, I mean, every horror movie was a B horror movie.
Yeah.
They were not meant, they weren't like what we have today, like
Mhm.
Barbarian or, we were kind of
Audience
right after Texas
Mhm.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
So we were subject Friday the 13th,
Mhm.
the originals, I was really into Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh my God. The first one, still one of my favorite movies to this day. I even made my own Freddy Krueger glove to scare my sister and chase her around.
Okay. Because I think this is a common theme, and I hear it a lot from other creators that are creating horror comics as well. Um, I I have an older sister. She's 18 months older than I am. And so it was kind of like if she went to a sleepover, Lori got to go too, even though they didn't play with me.
Mm,
I was just there. And
yeah.
then we had this one friend that loved horror, and her mom didn't care what we watched. So it was always like we watched The Gate and we watched Pet Cemetery, like
Mhm.
the scary one, not the new crap that they produce, but the old scary one. Like we were watching that kind of stuff, and I think I was
Oh yeah,
8.
Christine. I mean, what a great movie. Actually, Christine was a great movie.
Yeah,
Actually, I mean that. I mean,
that car will mess
who
you up.
thinks of that? Like, you take a car. It's not something. I mean, the premise, the synopsis must. They were probably laughing. They're probably, is this a comedy? But like the movie
Right.
is pretty. It's pretty terrifying. I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not a huge Stephen King fan outside the Dark Tower. I think the Dark Tower is
Mhm.
one of the most brilliant pieces of literature that I've ever read.
Yeah, I'm with
Um,
you.
but I mean, there are some stories that, he's done. I actually am a huge fan of his son, Joe Hill. Um, Horns, Lock and Key. He's done a lot of amazing stuff.
Yeah,
I think he has a different sense of horror that is much more character driven.
I agree. And I think at some point Stephen King was kind of like how Disney is right now, where it's just cash cowing um Star Wars, where it's like, we need more, so we need more, right? And so they were like, Stephen King, write us a story. And he's like, I have no idea. Here's this scary lamp. Like, ooh, it's a lamp. It's
Well, I
scary.
think,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, he must have run
right.
out of ideas at some point. He's just like, it's a car.
It's not, and there's
That
something for
jump.
everybody. I mean, I have, what is Chad's car driving simulator?
Nosferatu. I like it. Wow.
I think there is a book that's similar to that. Anyway, I
Anyway.
digress. So yes, I watched a lot of horror movies as a kid. It was my
Mhm.
my favorite genre. Um, but I wasn't drawing really overly gory stuff. And it wasn't until I was older that I started getting into like Peter Jackson and Dead Alive and
Yeah.
Bad Taste and just really weird stuff, man. Dead Alive is still probably one of my top 10 horror movies.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh my God, it's insane. It's just insane. And this is the guy that did Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I don't know, Peter
Like,
Jackson, right.
I mean, his first three films are really amazing. Then Lord of the Rings, yeah, I was into it because I read Tolkien
Tolkien.
as a kid. I was always into literature. I didn't just read comics and watch horror movies.
Mhm.
I mean, I really love to read. Um, but yeah, so I was always drawing, I think up until I was like 20. And then I'm not going to get into that story, but music became a big part of my life for the
Cool.
next 16 years after that.
Wow.
And so that's kind of how I made a living for a long time.
Did you play? Did you sing?
Uh, well, I did the band thing, but I also was fun fact. Uh, I I somehow ended up being the background scorer for like VH1 shows, E Channel, like I shouldn't even say this out loud, probably
It's
nowadays, but I did a lot of music for, what was that Diddy show early on, Making the Band or something. Yeah, I
You're
did a
like,
lot.
"I don't see nothing."
Yeah, I did a lot of the background music. And, there was a Britney Spears special.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was a background music. I made music you were not supposed to know was actually playing.
Oh, so it's just someone like people were talking on, like, the
Yeah,
documentary or
and there's
something?
like sound music in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made that.
That's a really interesting job. I never even some jobs you're like, someone has to do that, but you don't realize that someone is actually doing that,
Well,
right?
this is before, AI
AI.
generated stuff, and before anybody could just push a button. I mean, you needed people who actually wrote and composed those songs. They were songs, and they use whatever snippet they want. So,
I still
uh,
want to know what was your role in the band?
well, I had more than one. I mean, there was a bunch of them. Primarily, I mean, I don't know about. There was a time I could play every instrument.
Oh, you
Uh,
can. You're one of
yeah,
those.
yeah.
I know
So,
people like you.
so
My
I
uncle one of my
play
uncles is
guitar and
that
stuff.
way. Where he's just like, I play the flute. I play the
Okay,
oboe. I
I
play the
don't play the
organ. I play the
flute.
piano."
Okay, I don't play the flute or the accordion.
Yeesh.
I could try it, but I did. Flute is hard.
It's
Saxophone
hard. It's
is
hard, yeah.
wind instruments are super hard.
Yeah.
But I can't play the trumpet.
You can?
Yeah, and the trombone,
And the trombone. Okay. Do
which
you
is
play like
weird.
guitar and bass?
Yeah, guitar, bass,
Or
drums.
bass
The
and
last
drum?
band I was in, I was the drummer. The other bands I was in, I was a singer and the guitarist.
So were
Um,
you musical at all before the accident? I'm curious.
I wasn't musical until I was like 16.
That's
I,
interesting.
I was just drawing, and we would make fun. And making stop motion movies. I was really obsessed with that. But then I got really into music and just kind of ran with it. But I never really loved it. Like I liked it. I liked playing music, but I didn't really love it as a career. And I miss comics. I mean, in between there, like I was always collecting. I was still drawing as much as I could. I opened up a comic shop in Portland, Maine.
Oh my gosh.
And well, we wanted to open a comic shop, so what we did is I bought like 250,000 comics of this shop going out of business in New Hampshire, and I would rent. Uh, no, I had one of those conversion vans
Yeah.
from the music days and
Yeah.
ended up filling it with all these comics and just go to all these different shows and just sell them to raise money to open up the store. And
Wow.
and we did. It's still there. I don't have anything to do with it anymore, but I met a lot of great people. It's where I met, some good friends of mine like Ben Bishop and Joe Schmalke and a bunch of other guys. Um, Rich Dueck, and they were all doing this comics thing, and it made me miss it.
Yeah.
And another fun fact, though, is I was not in a place where I felt comfortable sharing my art, and so I was
Really?
just, yeah, I was just writing. Like I drew for myself, but I didn't feel that I had what it took. um, or what the way that I drew was not comic booky enough. And so I just wrote, and it kind of really didn't go anywhere. And yeah, so a bunch of stuff in between there. And then
Hmm.
it was about 2 years ago, I was writing Immortal Coil and sharing it with a peer of mine. I was looking for an artist. And I actually reached
That's
out
funny.
to, I actually reached out to Ben Bishop and said, "Dude,
Yeah.
I know you're drawing Ninja Turtles now, but you have any interest in drawing this?" He never even responded, um,
Ah.
which is for the best. But our
Right,
other
because
friend,
then you had to do it.
yeah, well, our other friend was like, "Why don't you just do it?" I was like, "Yeah, well, I could try. At least I could draw some of the first pages and then show an artist. This is kind of like the vibe I'm going for."
You guys, it's crazy that you're saying that because your art is so amazing.
Well, it has evolved. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're out of it for a while, as I was, it's not like you just get on the horse. I mean, things change, times change. Um, but he motivated me to just do those pages. And so the first 5 pages of Mortal Coil are what I showed him. And he said, just keep going. So that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
here we are.
I just dropped the link for this campaign in the chat. So if you are wanting to follow along or go scroll through and see what, because sometimes I scroll pretty fast, guys. You know me, I'm like, la, 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 right? Um, so why don't you go check it out while we're scrolling through and follow along with the class and raise your hand if you have any questions. Thank you. Um, I would love to hear more. Like I haven't really had a chance to dig into Immortal Coil. And now, are you familiar with who Ed Davis is? Ed
I'm
Davis?
not. I'm not.
Okay. He's another creator. He's out in California and he has a book called Immortal Era.
Oh,
And
yes, yes,
so,
okay. I know the book.
yeah,
I didn't remember his name. Yes.
that's his book. And so he and I just collaborated on our last campaigns. And so I was like, I want to make sure people know it's two different things, Immortal
Oh, I
Coil and
know.
Immortal Era, and the books are way different.
Yes, they
Just
are
I can
very
tell.
different.
Yeah.
They are different. And
So
look, I'm telling you, when you're naming a book, and you're making a comic, I mean, it's a pain because you
it
don't
is.
want. You've got millions of people, and you've got hundreds of thousands of creators. You've got at least almost 400 campaigns on sometimes on a given month on Kickstarter. I mean, try to come up with an original name.
Yeah.
And because I'm sitting there and I was reading Shakespeare, and it was just funny because there's another guy named Louis Godoy, who I've become friends with, who was working on a book, but it didn't come out till after mine, called This Immortal Coil.
Oh no.
And so, but mine had come out, and someone said, "Oh, by the way, you guys should talk to each other." And we connected on Twitter at the time, and he made a funny meme of like that Spider-Man multiverse thing,
Yeah,
where we're
they're all
pointing at each
pointing.
other with our different covers. And I never asked him to do anything. He changed the name completely on
Oh
his
my
own.
gosh.
You know,
Yeah.
I would I have changed mine? Probably not, because at that point, I wasn't going to reprint this whole thing. I
Yeah.
feel like once there's a name, that's the name, and that's it. You know.
It's really hard. I don't envy the people that have to end up changing their name because it's like after you've, like you said, printed books and they're out and they're published under that name, it's like how do you then go back and try to retcon everything? I did a ton of research
Mm,
because Path was actually I had originally called it Dead West, which sounds
mm,
really cool, right?
yeah.
Except there's like 3 bands and a novel, and there's a handful of things already that with the name Dead West where I was just like, "Ugh, this will be too many." Plus, you always have to remember your SEO. When people Google,
Mm,
Laurie Calcaterra or they Google Path of the Pale Rider, it's just me that pops up. So thank goodness
yeah.
my last name isn't Jones, right? It's
Yeah.
brutal, yeah, it's a brutal market. What does this say, Tank? 36,000 comic book crowdfunding comics in the last 7 years have crossed Kickstarter and Indiegogo and 120 new books each month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that
Isn't that
makes sense.
crazy? So, yeah, you gotta have cool ass covers like this to get people's attention. Remember?
Mm.
Got to have it. So let's talk about it. And I did a short for you, and it's like you had mentioned all things that I like American Gods and what's you I'll let you talk. How about that?
Well, and again, boy, I'm really gonna get canceled after this show. I've already mentioned Diddy once, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm canceled. I'm done. Uh, this is before a bunch of stuff, and I'm still a fan of the writing, just not the person, so I
Yes,
am I am heavily inspired by Neil Gaiman,
Man, right? Neil
because it's
Gaiman.
completely formed, when I was in my early 20s. I mean, that and Garth Ennis and Alan Moore, what some
Yeah,
Grant Morrison, what these guys were doing with comics brought me back into comics, because I
yeah,
was really, look, I don't care if anybody hates me for this, but my favorite, I'll give you an example. I love what Chris Claremont was doing, because it felt like a story you couldn't wait to read the next chapter of. It felt like
right.
that was like a golden era for me for comics, and was one of the few superhero books that I really liked, because I felt that Chris Claremont, especially in the early 90s, and then beforehand, was these character driven stories where you got to know the characters. There was some messed up stuff. I'm a big Mark Silvestri fan, especially when he was doing X-Men, his sketchy, frenetic style. But I got kind of burned out by the
Hmm.
90s, Jim Lee coming in, the 3,000,000 different covers, and it just felt like I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. I'm not a fan. I'm not.
Yeah,
And so I went over to, like, was catching up on Swamp Thing. Preacher became probably my favorite
Preacher.
book of all time, and then
Yes.
Sandman, of course. But
Mhm.
then I got really into, American Gods. s- the book, the actual
Yeah.
book, the graphic novel is phenomenal too.
Dylan, thank you.
Well, it's true. I mean, I don't care what
True, and I
it's
mean,
not my it's not I'm not getting involved with what
the
people are doing.
politics of it, it's
I
just the art and the story, and it can inspire you to do other things,
I
you know
mean,
what I
sorry, but
mean? Like
Neil Gaiman can write. The guy
yes.
can write, and he can write and write and write and develop these
Yeah,
worlds of
world
and then after that, where do you go? It's very hard to be so original. Um, and I even hesitated when I was doing Immortal Coil. I've always been a huge Norse fan. Norse mythology, the actual mythology, um, like all of the original Eddas and all that stuff. I've always been a big fan of Walt Simonson and what he did with Thor. I'm not a huge Cthulhu fan, but I'm a Lovecraft fan. Not again,
yes.
not as a person,
Right, again, it's like
but when you see
his
when he
cat
was
out of this.
publishing his original works, and what is this, like the 1920s? I mean, he was publishing this stuff.
Yeah.
That writing is light years ahead of its time. There was no one writing like that. I'm a Tentacle fan. Yeah,
This is
okay.
just admit it.
That's my fetish.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Um,
tentacles, mhm, you're not alone. There's a lot of people out there.
so I was just inspired by the literature, less about comics. And I had
Yeah.
written a story called Dead Boy that didn't really go anywhere, but it had elements that I really liked. So when I came back in the comic scene, I really wanted to take that element of family. Uh, it opens up in Odin and his grandchildren because I always wanted to make a comic that had this homage to my own grandfather.
Mm,
Um, and he left this realm when I was still a teenager. But he had the most profound effect on my life more than anyone else. And so I always had this story. And originally, Dead Boy was really about that relationship. So this was like taking it to the
mm,
extreme. Like, so, um, it's about families. Yet on the surface, it's Norse mythology sort of mashed up with eldritch horror. But it really, under that surface, it's a story about humanity. And I think almost every story I write or idea is, can we restore our humanity? Can we
mm,
be in these insane, fantastical situations, these moments of powerlessness, and find the things that make being human something to treasure? Even if
yeah,
it's horror, or there's tragedy and there's no happy ending, I mean, that is life. Um, And so on the surface, it's this monstrous, epic Armageddon, you know,
yeah.
uh, tale. But, underneath it are these characters. There's some subtext, with Thor's children. We never really find out what happened to Thor. And there's an obvious, like, well, he's a deadbeat POS.
Oh, no. He is a Scott Summers? Oh,
He's
no.
a Scott Summers. Um,
The worst father in all comics, Scott Summers. Hey,
Hi,
Sarah, how
Sarah.
are you? Sorry. Continue.
So yeah, there's a lot of dysfunctional family
Yeah.
stuff. And the name came from, like, Shakespeare's talking about the mortal coil, because eventually we all just pass on, so
Mhm.
whatever strife or struggle or whatever we go through as human beings, if you were immortal, that would just seem like hell. It would just seem like torture, that you could never really like escape it. Um, so I mean, that's sort of kind of like where it kind of came from. And and I've just taken my own liberties in a modern
Yeah.
setting about Norse mythology. The first two issues are completely really from a more Norse point of view. The third issue is going to is split, where we're going to move into the more Lovecraftian horror aspect, and then by issue 5, how these gods collide. while we're all just
Interesting.
sitting around going, should I cancel that barbecue next week or what?
Oh no.
And it's about selfishness and selflessness and just and sort of like in American Gods. I mean, if you're immortal, you're probably a prick to a certain degree, and so there's some redemption, there's horror, and there's you know who's really good, who's really bad.
Yeah. Existentialism, that's a nickel word. Good morning, Nam. And then, it's the quest of what makes us human, and it's like how you treat your fellow man. Um, that's a really interesting topic for me as well. You like my hat? See, this is why you have to come to the live stream is so you can tell me about my hats.
Sheriff Laurie.
Sheriff Lauren, cha-cha. These are gorgeous, by the way. I mean, I don't know about anybody else in the comments. I'm sure they're with me because we see a lot of art, but this style is just phenomenal. Your books are gorgeous to look at, and I feel like, and we all know because everybody plays this game. What's more important, art or story, right? And it's like, well, it has to be both. The
Mm-hmm.
art is what gets people to open the book, right? To get into the story, and the story is what keeps them there. And so I feel like this is a really nice balance.
Well,
Because
I think the
gorgeous.
story is what keeps them coming back.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. Like the art is only so good, for the first issue if there's a story to go along with it. If people want to come back for issue 2, but it's like, oh, this is pretty and I don't know what's going on. They're on to the next thing. Chad, you're
Sure.
funny.
I know. He's a funny guy.
He makes me laugh. But it looks amazing. I am a backer on this campaign, you guys. I pledged on this one. Um, and I got the super gorgeous early bird cover. So I highly recommend you guys go shopping and see what you like. This is one of those indie comics that I think if more people knew existed would explode. It's one of those. You know what I mean? Like it deserves the attention that we can give it. 100%. I don't know what else to say here. I mean, let's show off some of the cool stuff. So,
Okay.
you have a or was that the one that I got where it was like now on Kickstarter you could be like this is a recommended or this is a what do they call it?
I don't know.
And it's like this is preferred or like showcase or you know what I'm trying to say, guys, where it's just like you could showcase a certain tier and it goes right to the top as opposed to
Oh, featured.
that's it. That's the word I'm looking for. Was this the featured one or is it
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah. I gotta fix that.
well, I think
Because I
that
have
it was
nothing else
early
to do.
bird, so it might be over by now.
It should be. I think all the early birds. They're all the
Right.
early birds. I only do them for 48 hours. It's. I mean, the hardcover. It could be the
Yeah.
softcover. I think that's the hardcover, maybe. So all those versions are still available. Just a few dollars more.
Right.
I mean, the original price. The early birds.
Early bird price is
Try to
gone. Right.
try to take a at least a couple dollars off just to especially for new people who are like, I don't know this story. I've been following it. Like, do I want to get in on this?
Mhm.
Um, and we have that, opportunity with Kickstarter to be creative, to be welcoming to new fans. I think there's a real danger as a creator using crowdfunding to think that everybody has seen it before,
Right. And
or to
that's
make a campaign or rewards that don't feel welcoming in some ways to people that are just finding out about it. I mean, even if you've been
right.
doing the book for 2 years, it could be 10 years from now someone finds it. I mean,
Right.
so it's always like, okay, well, how can I be welcoming? We know you're just coming here, so here's the story. We got these early bird, and discounts. What can we do to entice you to check this out?
Mhm. Mhm. I agree.
Because
And I mean, that's
your fans will they're gonna
Most
back it up anyway.
right, and that's my point. I was like, there's this challenge that goes along with creating a Kickstarter page where it doesn't matter where you are in the story, you still have to entice new people. Because that's
Oh,
our goal is to grow the
right.
audience. But you still want to give enough information so that way the returning backers know where you're going.
Mm.
Um, So, I mean, I have that challenge too, and it's like every campaign, I'm always recapping like what happens in the first like 3 issues, you know what I mean? 4 issues, just so everybody knows, like, if you're someone new, this is what we're about because we're not your typical anything. You know, we're
Right.
not really we're a Western, but we're future West, we're weird West. We have zombies, but you're not typical. Like, it's so weird and different that if unless they actually hear, what it is or read what it is, it's hard to really understand, what they're missing out on. What's
Well,
this?
that's like why I just started reading,
Oh, yes, thank you.
the volume 1 of Path of the Pale Rider because I saw how many issues you have, and I'm like, okay, I need it all in one thing. And that
We're
because
working on
if I do really like something, I'm a little impatient. I want to know okay, where are we
I know.
going? And then I'm like, oh my God, I gotta when is a third one?
No!
When you're a creator on Kickstarter too, it's hard because
I know, yeah.
we don't have Disney or Warner Brothers money behind what we do, and we might do other projects, and so issues 1 through 5 could take years, not
Exactly.
5 months,
I know.
which I think
It
ideally we would all love to be able to do.
Right. And I mean, if we won the lotto, then it'd be like, "Okay, this is all I'm doing," right? Um, but y you had posted something, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, where it's just like, "Hey, I just wanna talk about, this." There's some days where I'm really in the groove, and there's some days I hate whatever I'm putting through, and I have to beat it into submission. You're like,
Yeah,
sometimes I don't even meet my own stinking deadlines, and
right.
we're all there as creators, and
Yeah.
especially if you're working with a team of people. And I hope, that our job is kinda like the head person, the head creator of the genre, or not the genre, of the property. So, like, you're in charge of Immortal Coil, I'm in charge of Path. My job is to at least communicate to people where we are so that they know it's still in process. So even if we don't hit a deadline, it's because, things are caught up in print, or I'm waiting on t-shirts, or, the art is really challenging and we're slogging through it, but we want it to be perfect before we send it to you, you
Well, I
know?
do for sure. I mean, that's of course. I mean, I don't want to hurry something just because I'm afraid that people will get pissed. I'd rather
Right.
they have to wait. And I think seeing communication is the key. I mean, my last project, 1,000 Cuts with Frank, has seen one delay after the other. Should have already been fulfilled 2 times over.
Yeah.
And I have to deal with vendors. Some are very cool and some are not. And we just had this huge problem where my place in New York, the post office thought no one lived here anymore and sent
Oh.
and closed my address. And
Are they allowed to just close an address?
well, I
What
don't
the
know. I'm using the wrong words, but everything that got sent here was just being forwarded back, and I didn't know. So I arrived in America. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Because usually when I arrive in America, everything's waiting for me. I get to work, and I was
Yeah.
here in August, and I'm still. So anyway, some of these vendors are really cool. I had to go to the post office and be like, I live here, and
Yeah.
we figured it out. We got it straightened out, and then I had to go to every vendor and be like, I need this stuff sent back. If nobody knows this, when things get returned back to origin, it can take up to a month
Oh my god.
just for them to receive what is being returned. And then on top of that, they have to do usually like put it back in the system, make sure I'm not getting charged again, resend it, and that's another 2 weeks. So that's where we are. So hopefully
Oh my
by
gosh.
I think I've got everything except one more vendor. Um, is being somewhat difficult, but they've guaranteed. So I thought it was going to be this week, but now I've been told it's going to be next week. And I'm like, end of September, man. This was supposed to be done because I have Immortal Coil to
Yeah.
fulfill. And then we have another project in November. So I had it all timed. None of this is willy-nilly. I mean, this is I schedule and time everything. I know I try to, and I stay very organized on how that's going to work. So 1,000 cuts, I have to send another update today and be like, you are the most patient community in the world. Um,
How frustrating
if I
though.
could have sent this out, a month ago, I would have,
Yeah.
so.
Um, I'm always interested what people are doing on their campaigns for. I mean, like you have some gorgeous art and things for add-ons, but I would love to talk to you about your stretch goals. How is this working? You have special collection indie books. Every 25 backers, we unlock a digital title for both physical and digital. I love that.
No, yeah, if you back the book physically or digitally, it doesn't matter.
Right.
These are digital
Digital.
editions of these comics. We're not shipping out other people's comics.
Right.
Um, so does it work? I don't know. Sure. Is it fun and cool to be like, they are books that I love in this particular campaign. These are all books by Travis Gibb.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm a fan of all of these books, and would love people that maybe are in my community that haven't read these would check them out.
And I love that, I love doing this on my own campaigns as well because we love digital backers, and we wish there was more ways that we could, reward them because, again, everybody wants that stretch goal where Laurie sends you coffee beans, right? But I
Right.
can't do that with the digital backers, but I love them just as much. So that's why,
Yeah.
sending digital copies of books is so great, because then everybody is rewarded.
Well,
Tank,
I've also in all of my campaigns offer every backer it's a folder I share through Kickstarter, and I make desktop and phone wallpapers.
that's cool. I've been thinking about doing that for a while and just haven't pulled the
I-
trigger on
Well,
that.
I thought
I'm
it
gonna
was
give it a go.
stupid, kind of, but then I actually had someone write me once and be like, "Hey, I didn't get my wallpapers."
I was
I
like,
was
"Oh, I
like,
need to do that." I don't even have that
"Yeah,
on my own computer. Gosh.
be careful on Kickstarter. You better follow through what you say you're going to do, because at least one
Oh,
person,
yeah, someone will be there.
it may
The
be only one
digital
person, but it
wallpapers are
matters."
preferred for computers and phones are cool. Yeah, see? And
Yeah.
Tank, I don't know, did I scroll so fast sometimes. It might have been there and I just scrolled right past it because I'm that way. I'm just like, "Look at this, look at that, look at this."
Oh, what did Tank say though?
He just said,
First time to see on a
just giving some
campaign.
constructive criticism. I'd like to see a campaign as a log line. Usually log line is the one all the way at the top. See, this is me scrolling so fast you can't read. So this is what I would consider the log line right here. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, that's what. Is it the best one? They're not easy to make, man. like
Yeah.
I'm, I like I suffer over that page. That yeah, making the rest of the
Here.
page is like not a problem. Make the graphics in like a couple
It's
days.
it's making pages is just it's so
But
hard. And it's like and every time you move forward, there's more information. And I feel like I like even on my last campaign Tank, I got some feedback where it's like I got on Matt Campbell's Wheel of Destiny and
hmm.
they were like, she's telling us this, but she told us this already, just in different words. So I feel like I'm at the point where I gotta start cutting things out because I'm being repetitive, you know?
But
Um,
Tank is not wrong. And for my next
yeah,
campaign,
they are a doozy.
well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, for my next campaign, which goes live in November, Tank, I'm gonna take that to heart, and I'm gonna make it like big. I'm not even gonna use the regular text. I'm gonna make a big ass bold graphic that says in like one long sentence what the hell this is.
Let
Does
me
that
see.
sound
Like,
fair?
do I have that? I don't think. I guess I do. I mean, like, here's a small, but then it's like again, here's a little more, and then is that it? Hopefully that's it. I felt like there was like 3 places where I was just like, this is redundant. You know what I mean? Like, and then here's a recap. And so it's like I need to start consolidating some of that stuff. And then again, it's like if people aren't reading stuff, I even put a video where it's like, this is the pitch too. So I think, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so hard to craft a page. It seems like it would be easy. It's not.
But I'll tell you, we're talking about digital stuff. I can
Yeah.
say this: the next book Frank and I are doing, um, while we're working on the next installment of Mortal Coil, is it's called Love and Death on the Dark Side of the Moon. And
Cool.
I can tell you that digital backers are going to get a year's worth of content every month.
What?
Every month.
Every month, so they get 12 comics?
It doesn't work that way.
Does it?
It's still a 100-page graphic novel.
No,
Of
no, but you're saying like they get a whole year's worth of material? How?
Because we've talked about this in a few podcasts. I think only once or twice. I can mention it here. I'll try to be really brief about it. So we are doing our own along with Rolling Squid Bones, is publishing this. Frank and I are creating pages every month, and we are formatting those uh, into actual verticals. And
Okay.
so every month, digital or physical backer, doesn't matter. You are going to have a backer password, and you can go to the page that I'm building. And like you would webtoons, and you every month get a webisode every month.
Wow. Is it so is that gonna be its own tier? Is that a stretch goal? Like, how you formatting
No,
that?
it's the book. It doesn't matter which tier you back. That's how
Oh, so
we're
that's
doing.
the actual book. That's so
So
cool.
we are going to take. We want to take our time with it.
Yeah,
We have an amazing team right now, and I'm working with Dave Fowler on the art, and it's it's amazing. I'm doing the art, and Dave's doing the colors, but I don't want to say he's not part of the art because his colors have become as much the art as my line work.
of course.
And so we want to take our time. We want to build the story up. It's basically a web series that we are doing. We're drawing the actual pages like a book. And then as we get closer to the end of the story, you will receive with no extra cost what you backed for. Just digital, you get the whole web series. We're probably over 200 webisodes. If you back at
Wow.
a physical level, you'll get that plus whatever physical book you backed for. So you don't have to like check in with us again. If you order the
Mhm.
hardcover edition, you're going to get that monthly web series. And as we get closer to completion, you're going to end up in your mailbox having the whole thing in a beautiful hardcover. We're doing a slipcase. It's going to be a whole thing.
Nice. Slipcases are on my list of things to accomplish at some point.
I know, they're so nice.
Well, and I mean, like, I think it was on Travis's Thursday night show, and they were talking about how if you have that slipcase, because if you have an ongoing series and like where I'm at, it's like, okay, we're on issue 7. Sometimes it's hard to sell all 7, but we also have a volume of 1 through 4, but we haven't gotten the next volume yet. So it's
Mhm.
like you can get 1 through 7 and put them in the slipcase so you can still put it
Right,
on the shelf and
right.
have it be appealing as opposed to, dishing out for 1 through 4, but then be like, okay, just tell me when you're at the next one, for the volume.
And if you're not there yet, if you have other books that you can put into a collection, you can always have a slipcase that's more about, these are Calcaterra books.
Yes, that's a
This
good
you're
idea.
getting, you're getting a collection. It's not all Path of the Pale Rider, majority,
Right.
but here's some cool extra stuff we put into a collection, and that fills the slipcase.
I got a ton of books out already. There's Path, but there's Psycho Sal as well, and then
Right.
Travis's anthology book. So I was in volume 2 of Cthulhu Invades Fairyland, and
Mm.
I was in Big Dog Inc. 14, and then I'll be doing something else for Big Dog Inc. next year, which is really exciting. And then what else? I have Gemini Force coming from Terry Parr. So I mean, that would be cool to put together a whole Laurie Calcaterra. I didn't even think about that. Hmm.
Yeah. And then we will all sit back and watch you make all your hot sauce, candy soaps, whatever.
This is my
Whatever is
new.
coming out.
Like I seriously had to. Like I took an afternoon to put them together. This I don't know if you guys remember Fred Schwartz that was on the show. He does Fisticuffs.
Oh my
The show,
God.
the
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
hilarious book, by the way. And he was
Yeah.
so nervous that I was going to be offended by his book, and I cackled through his book. Like
Yeah.
it's just really funny. So highly recommend Fisticuffs. And then he's a hot sauce fanatic. And so
Oh,
when he
me
found
too.
out, yeah, he was like, I was drinking that barbecue sauce from the bottle. And I was like, that's a little much, sir. And he was like, if what did he say? It was something like, if it was a lollipop, I would eat that. And I was just like, wait a minute, we could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is 3 different flavors of hot sauce in 3 different candies.
Come on, man. I want that. I want
So
that.
I've made quite a few. I'm going to be sending some out as beta testing. So, okay, I know, Dylan. I'm that person. Oh, look, it's Glenn. Hi, Glenn. Sorry, that's our thing. So I'll be sending some of these out with books for issue 7 when we fulfill. But if you get one, you have to do a survey. That's the price you pay for getting one. Is you can eat them and they're terribly, terribly delicious. It's really an experience, but you have to give me some feedback because I'm going to ask questions. So
if you send me some, I'll make a video.
All right, I'll do that.
A fun one, like pow! Special effects in the background, green screen, the whole thing.
Love it.
Like
and they're easier to ship than hot sauce.
It'll be like your homebrew thing, you know. You're like, oh, I'm making my coffee, eat a candy. Wake up! Hot sauce.
Just wait until you see our outro.
Oh boy.
If you like that chainsaw, that's where it came
Yeah, that
from.
was fantastic. And you're wearing a Are you wearing a Pokemon onesie?
Yeah, okay. So another stretch goal that I do in our campaigns is called the Slice and Dice. So again, it's another way for everybody, physical and digital, to participate in a stretch goal. And so I send out a survey, which I'll be doing this week, and people get to vote on 2 things. They get to name a fruit or vegetable. We're doing a pumpkin this time. So they get to name the pumpkin, and they get to vote on a weapon of destruction.
Oh, is that the one where I saw you did the axe and the pumpkin thing?
Yes. So they pick it, and then I put it together, and here on the Tuesday morning brew, I will dress up as Pikachu. I will go out into the backyard, and we will murderate whatever fruit or vegetable they put together for me.
That's amazing.
So I really hope the chainsaw wins this time. This will be the first time it'll be on the list. But we are actually retiring the Pikachu suit. I have a new suit. It's a bear suit.
Oh my God. You'll have to on your next campaign, auction off the Pikachu suit.
Oh, that's
don't even wash it.
Don't wash it. It's full of water. No, I think I washed it last time. It was full of watermelon.
There's so many weirdo perverts online. You probably make
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
$10,000. Yes, that's why Laurie's unwashed Pikachu suit.
No, we're not doing that. No. But yeah, so the new suit is going to be a Big James suit, and I'm going to I'm going to do some applique over his eyes, so it'll be like Big James scars on his face. And 2 other people are getting these bear suits as well, because that's what the secret reward was on the campaign. Wow. So it's really fun. So there'll be 2 other people rocking the Big James onesie.
You are more fun than I'll ever hope to be in comics.
You just got to hang out with me. It rubs off. Trust me.
I'm a depressing comic.
What do you think mine is, Jim? We're the same. But you got to have that.
I'm sorry. You have a horse that's sighing.
You don't make it out of the first issue.
I don't have anything that cool. When I saw that, I literally wrote Chad. I took a screenshot and I said, "Is the horse sighing?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, that's on purpose." And I was like, I am speechless. I can't even laugh because there's a subtle brilliance that I should just quit now. If I can never draw a horse sighing, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, the point was it's like she's very human-like qualities, right? And I mean, later on in the story, he's like, we're going to sneak. Their plan was to sneak past this giant undead bear, and he gave her a pair of shoes to help muffle her, the noise of her hooves. But he said to her, he's like, I was saving these for, for your birthday. Happy early birthday. I mean, what man doesn't buy shoes for his woman, right? So again, Diana Prince was just very human-like and was really his only companion, and that was the whole point, was that this relationship that was so important to him. He made a stupid choice because he was up all night fighting wolves, right? Didn't make a good choice. Stopped and picked up that glass, which shattered, which woke up the bear, and then it was like, now we have consequences. But if he would have just left it alone, they probably could have snuck past that bear. But
The
the whole
horse is
point,
like, you idiot.
yeah. I mean, how many times has that horse probably been like, "You're gonna get us killed"?
Yeah. Here we go.
But I mean, the
Blue.
whole point of issue 1 is that you see the world as the antagonist. The world is so scary, and it's like any little choice that you make could end up in disaster. And really, the only reason that he survived is because he got passed out, right? Because if he was awake, he probably would have tried to save her, and he would have been dead too. Anyway, I would love to play a game. We played this a couple of weeks ago and had a lot of fun with it. So I would like to continue the tradition of playing this game called Would You Hug This? And we started this.
Are you going to show me a picture of Chad Perkins? I hope so.
That would have been genius. But no, I didn't
Would
put
you
Chad
hug
in
this guy?
We will start out easy. Would you hug this, Gerald?
Yeah, of course I would.
Panda bears, everybody.
I love pandas.
Do you?
I love pandas.
They're so dumb.
I had a panda suit, and I came back to America, and it was gone. I would have worn it today.
That would have been perfect. I would have been like, would you, as a panda, hug this panda?
Yeah, I would. I'd be like, this panda would hug that panda.
All right. We'll pick another easy one. I don't know how you feel about these animals. Alpacas. Would you hug an alpaca?
I would want to. I'd want to, because they are so soft, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're little kind of bastards, and they love to spit.
Skittish. Yeah, and they do spit.
They're not as on you.
They're not as bad as their cousin, the llama, who listens to death metal and hides knives in their fur. But I think that
I'd want to hug it. I don't think it'd want to hug me.
It would probably run away. But yeah, okay. So that's still a yes. All right.
Okay.
This is a Damascus goat.
Yeah, no, I'm not touching that thing with a 10-foot pole. I don't know what is happening, and I not hugging it. But boy, does it get my imagination going.
I like, we might see him in a future episode of Immortal Coil.
Yeah, you might. Now I think I have my new animal character.
With a raincoat and a surgical face shield.
Holy water.
This one's a baby. She's right.
Cells.
Sarah is correct. These are terrifying when they get older.
Oh my God.
This one's a baby.
I mean, if I was John Constantine, maybe. I'm not sure I'd go too far close to it.
They are crazy
Wow.
when they get older. All right. We always have to ask this one just because the fandom that we have. Would you hug Big James?
No. I have encountered 2 bears in my life growing up in upstate New York, and they're not your friend. They're not your friend. I don't care how cute you think they are, man. Bears are like, they seem like, oh yeah, so like lovable. They'll cut you down in 2 seconds.
Yeah, they're not friendly, and they're usually not friendly with other bears either. It's like,
I climbed a tree once because I saw it in the distance and I was no way I could run up that hill faster than a bear. I just climbed a tree and I was up there and I peed my pants. It was terrifying.
They can climb trees.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Yes.
Where else was I gonna go? I'd dig a hole
And
in the
this
ground and
is the
build.
problem with bears. That's why I'm so terrified of bears and wrote them into the story for issue 1 because you can't outrun it. You cannot
No.
climb a tree to get. They swim and they run 30 miles an hour.
The only thing they don't do is fly, but neither do we. So you're
Right.
screwed.
So again, if it's undead and you can't kill it, how you get away from this thing? Lori smash. No, I'm not doing that.
Just start digging your own grave and just lay in it.
Yeah, you should you could pretend to be dead, but sometimes that doesn't work either. All right. Gerald, do you like turtles?
I do. I did. I used to.
You used to. You probably won't like this guy. I named him Frank. This is Frank.
Oh
Would
yeah,
you
not happening. I'll tell you a funny story because that looks like a snapping turtle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they're very different. They are not a turtle. They
No.
are death machines who eat fish, small animals, baby geese, whatever they get their hands on. I was driving a car with my little son who was like 11 months at the time, and there was this turtle I saw on the road, big one. And I couldn't leave him there, so someone would run him over. And I had an old jacket in my car, and I said, well, I'll get him out. Oh, no, it's a snapping turtle. Now, if you don't know what a snapping turtle, they do not want anyone coming near them. I mean,
No.
this thing, he tore through my coat, and they are faster than you think.
Yes.
He spun 360 and leapt at me, and he urinated the most
Yep.
disgusting foulness I've ever smelled in my life. I managed to get the coat around him, and I just tried to kind of whip him off the side
Yeah.
of the road, which is what I did.
Like, did you
I
just kick
saved
him?
that little bastard's life, but
And
no, I
they
will
hate
not
you
hug
for
him.
it. They're just not these terrible, terrible. I was walking down a path with a puppy when our last dog or dog now was a puppy, and we saw a bastard like this in the middle of the walkway. We just turned around and went back. I was like, there's
Yeah,
no
oh
getting
yeah,
around it.
no, I couldn't believe I even got him off the side of the road, but I
30
did.
long. That's a noping turtle.
Yeah, nope.
Nope, we ain't doing that. All right, I got 2 more, and I'm interested in this one. I don't know which way you're gonna go here. Oh, I took the whole thing down. I wasn't supposed to do that. Here we go. Do this one. Would you hug this snake?
I might. I have an affinity for snakes and spiders.
Do you?
I can't hurt them or kill them. I can't kill a spider. I've never been able to. I think I have a connection with them.
Hmm.
It's weird. I don't know. And snakes,
Interesting.
when I was younger, I used to like go to the woods and collect them and keep them as pets, which is cruel.
Aw.
But I
Poor
never hurt
snake.
them or anything. And then I release them into the wild. I give them names,
Oh.
uh, and then my mom was like, she went into the shed and I had a box with like 5 snakes in it.
Oh my god, I'd kill
She
you as a
had
child.
a
What are you
heart,
doing?
she had a heart attack. I go, those are my friends.
Now, I have an affinity for snakes as well. This is a corn snake, so this one is harmless to everybody. So I would be hugging this snake too. I'd be letting it crawl on my arms and smell my
Yeah.
hair. Like,
Yeah. Fun
um,
time.
I like it's a hug noodle. Yes, I was like, this is a poop noodle.
Oh my God. That I'm never gonna ever never see a snake like that and not think hug noodle.
As
It's
soon
like if
as
you're a
I
Canadian,
can.
in Canada, the nickname for Canadian geese is cobra chickens.
That makes perfect sense. I hate geese. Geese are at the top of my list. Um, okay, so little side story. I used to work at banks. I was a teller assistant manager, like salesperson. I did all the things at the bank. When you work at the bank, you deal with a lot of elders
Hmm.
um, that are either slow or argumentative or both. And so when the geese cross the street and they're so freaking slow and you hate them for it, They're like little old people crossing the. And I
Oh,
just
no,
can't.
no,
Sorry.
Canadian geese, they come at you, man. They
Oh, they're
come
terrible.
out
They'll
you. I
chase
mean,
you.
and they hiss and come at you like a
Mhm.
cobra. So in Canada, they're called cobra chickens.
I completely get it. And the reason why, and this is a silly story, is that when God flooded the earth and Noah was in his ark, the geese were just floating on the water. They never got cleansed of their evil. Mhm.
Oh, there we go.
Like that.
Is
There you
that
go.
it? That
And that's
that
why
makes
fish are
perfect
evil too.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect
Thank you. Science.
sense. See, everybody agrees with us. Hug the snake, not the Canadian goose. Yeah.
No, I'm
All right.
yes.
Last one. And
Mhm.
if you hug this, I have to question whether we can still be friends.
Oh, hell no, I've seen this thing. I kind of want to touch it and see what that thing feels like. Hug it. I wouldn't want it anywhere near my heart or a vital organ
I don't
or a carotid artery. I don't want it anywhere because I don't know what's coming out of that
I
mouth.
don't think it's teeth. Legas. Talk about a fish that is a blobfish, Mr. Mopey. Yes, I
Yeah.
feel like he has no bones, and that I bet you. I don't know. I have to Google it. What this fish looks like in the water, because I feel like he only looks like this because there's
Right.
gravity and he's on land.
No,
That's
it doesn't
someone's
look like a fish.
biopsy. It's like one of those parasitic twins that they remove.
Oh my God, yes. It's like how to get ahead in advertising. It's the beginning of a boil that becomes you. And this is the first phase.
Oh
It's
no. Blobfish are actually rather cute. Yeah, in the abysmal deep. So that's what I was
yeah.
wondering too. I was like, I haven't seen what they look like in the water, but I was like, holy hell.
There is a world down there
Yeah.
there's no horror movie or science fiction that tops
Nope.
reality.
I don't excuse my French. I don't fuck with the ocean. I don't go in it. I
Oh,
don't
I
go on
do.
cruises. I
But
don't go on boats. Like I don't
mm,
mm-mm.
well, yeah, cruises, no, those are just
No.
disgusting.
I don't go in the deep water. I'm afraid of that. All of it. Yeah, deep water fish, so it looks mostly different.
Yeah,
Or a little snot fish.
it's not, yeah.
I
I
don't
mean, it's like
yeah.
if toxic waste got dumped on a piece of chewing gum left under a desk.
It's a piece of chewing gum in middle school desk. I'm
And it's like, "Ooh, I'm alive."
gonna clip that. That's gonna be the best TikTok right there. Oh my
Oh,
god.
great.
And that was it.
Wonderful.
That was uh thanks for playing.
Yes. I was gonna go crazier. I thought it was gonna be like crazier.
No, no.
Like porcupine or you
Uh,
know.
I'll add that to the list. I was just trying to pick just a wide variety because wasn't sure, your animal preference yet. But like
Well, I'm a cat person. I would hug any cat in the world.
okay. I never want to put
Even the
cats or
scary
dogs up there and
ones.
someone's like, I hate cats, and then like the entire chat eats them alive.
Oh yeah. No, no. I am always been more of a cat person.
Yes. I'm a
Like,
dog person, so
yeah, I could see that. And dogs are
yeah.
great. There's just I don't know. I like how bitchy cats are.
Well, they're more independent, we'll just say that for sure.
Yeah,
Right?
they're particular, and I like that you don't have to give them tons of attention because they don't like that. They're like, "Pet me for 2 seconds.
No,
Your
I bite
seconds are over. Get out of here." And I'm like, "Thank God, I have other stuff to do anyway." But they're such snobs.
my sister has 2 cats, and they're so fat. They're huge. And one of them loves feet.
That's weird.
He will come and sniff your feet and then he'll lick your feet. And if he really likes you, he'll bite your feet. So I'm sitting at a kitchen table, and this guy is just like licking my feet. I was like, uh-oh. And then all of a sudden I feel like, hey, like he just like
That
takes
is
a
odd.
nibble. Like, stop.
I have a very sweet cat. His name is Giovanni Pelo, which just means
Oh,
Fuzzy John. And
oh.
he is an orange cat, but he's almost the size of a Maine Coon. And you could throw him around. I mean, I could flip him in the air 360. He never, ever, ever minds. He's so chill. He's the chillest cat I ever met. He's actually more like a dog. He plays fetch, which is so weird.
Oh, that's
But they say
cool.
orange cats are, I've never had an orange cat before, and they say they are a very particular breed of cat.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't I don't quite understand it myself, never having owned a cat, but I
No.
see posts where they're like, "Orange cat, no thoughts, smooth brain, like no wrinkles, no crevices, nothing."
Yeah.
Oh, aw, Dylan, after my dad died this year, our dog follows me to the bathroom to be petted. Yeah, can't
Mm.
go to the bathroom in peace. Dogs will be with you if you let them all day. I have a Velcro dog. I have to shut the door, otherwise he's in here. I mean, like, he's in here eating my trash and just being a dog.
Well, I know. I mean, we've been here hanging out for an hour and a half. In dog time, in their brain, you might as well have been gone for 10
Yeah,
years.
yeah. He'll treat me like I left the house for a week and came back when I opened this door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're back. How long has it
"Oh,
been?
did you forget me?" You know, like, yeah, he's so funny.
Yeah. I did.
He's
I mean, I
interesting.
had a dog once. I rescued a dog, and he was great. It was a bull mastiff, and
Yeah.
I loved him. But I was just a foster dad.
Um,
I mean, I had a good time. I don't like picking up dog poop, but that's okay.
yeah,
He
that's
was
nobody's favorite.
no. It's like, and you know, when have you ever looked at a dog's face when they're pooping in public? It's not their favorite either. Like the dog is
They just
like,
look at you awkwardly like,
they're like, look, if I could use a bathroom, I would. This sucks for me.
"Mm,
This sucks for you. And then their face is like, God, can you at least bring me around the bush? Do I have to do it right here? And then they just laugh at you because you're like, well, time to put the bag on my hand. And
uh-huh."
he's like, that's what you get for making me poop in public.
And they always do it the most inopportune time. They really do. Like, we had a barbecue, and we're all sitting around a campfire, and I had a dog go directly into the center of the backyard and drop a deuce, but he had, like, he had, like, a dingleberry or something, and he was just sitting there for, like it felt like he was pooping for 10 minutes, and we were all staring at this dog poop at this point because he was just out there, like, just dead center, and we were just like, "Are you done yet? Like, what are you doing?" And he just kept pooping, and I don't know. It was just so awkward, and I think they just have that sense where they're just like, "This will be the most embarrassing moment for mom if I'm gonna poop for
Yeah.
10 minutes during this
And
barbecue."
cats are like, they have their own corner, in the bathroom. Giovanni, my cat, had it's like a house
Yeah.
with a flip door. It's so private. And but he's kind of like a dog. He doesn't really care, and he's really clumsy and goofy, and he doesn't know how to clean himself. I mean, sometimes I'm like, this might be the dumbest cat I've ever met, but he's the
Orange
sweetest
cat?
cat. He's the sweetest cat you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Sweet as could be, but
Is
not
that
too
is
bright.
that orange cat chat? My ginger cat Dixon is a little tension. That's all I say. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he does.
Mhm.
Yeah, my cat. He loves attention. He loves my 7-year-old. Yeah, they're like, and I mean,
Aw.
there are a lot of cats you could pick up the way he picks up this cat, and no scratches or anything like that. Giovanni's like,
She's like, "You love
me
me."
love hug.
Are there pets in Immortal Coil?
I've been asked this before.
Yeah.
There is a raven.
Oh, that's right. Look, we saw a page. Wait, 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 wait. Wait, wait.
It's not a pet though. I don't want to use that word.
Right. Okay.
And I don't want to give away. There is a spoiler in
Oh,
the
I was
third.
like, so tell us about this raven. You're like, no.
Well, all I can say is that everyone who knows Norse mythology knows that Odin has two
Two
ravens,
ravens.
who are his eyes and ears of not just Asgard but the world, every realm, all of existence, and they report back to him. They've sometimes been simplified into being memory and is it wisdom or
Hmm.
thought, or I can't remember right now which one it is. Uh, all I can say is that this only one. Well, you learn in the first issue, in the first few pages, that Loki killed the other one. He strangled it to death to get information out of it.
Jerk.
Yeah, what a jerk! And this Raven, escapes, and this is memory, because
Mm.
it's the most important thing. Because when you read issue 2, and you find out that Odin, who is actually a giant asshole, and he really manipulates the grief of Frigga and the loss of her son Balder, and concocts this plan to that Ragnarok was a hoax, and was to banish Loki and all of his offspring forever. But they would have to sacrifice every realm but Earth.
Hmm.
But upon arriving on Earth, no one but Odin would remember anything.
Interesting.
And
Interesting
so it's
story.
important that the raven
Like
flies
it.
away, being memory, because it's doing things you don't know yet. There's
That's
something that happens in
great.
issue 1, you would never know it until it's sort of unveiled.
See,
There's
and
some,
this is the kind of writing that not only do I aspire, but I enjoy, where it's like you read issue 1, you see things from either someone's perspective or with very little context, you know what I mean? And as the story goes on, it's like, wait a minute, now this page makes so much more sense the more I read. So it's
right.
almost like it's beneficial to go back and reread. And I love that with stories where it's like, hey, I need to read it again because maybe I'll catch something new, you know?
Well, even in the second page, the paintings over the fireplace actually tell the story of the flashback pages that come in issue 2. They are actual
Oh,
public domain pieces of art,
yeah.
and but they are actual. They were created eons ago to tell the story of Loki, his imprisonment, and Ragnarok. So they go 1, 2, 3, and that story basically only the Odin is trying to avoid the third. The first two happen, and I sort of do my own illustration of that in what I call the flashback pages.
Interesting. See, it's like I can't wait to get my hands on this book. I really gotta dig deep and,
So there's little things
um,
like that. I mean, yeah, you
it
wouldn't know,
but see,
you
but that's
wouldn't.
why it's important to talk to the creator, like, to come onto podcasts and listen to Gerald talk because it's like, "Okay, now I know to look into the background," because sometimes it's just the background, other times it's telling you stuff, right?
Times, yeah. I
So
mean, obviously, I don't, maybe someone would pick that up, but I like to say it sometimes because just I try to put these things in all the books, even ones I'm doing with Frank, but in this one especially, it was like everything is intentional,
yes.
hopefully, and that by the end you see that there was nothing really accidental,
Mhm.
and that things come full circle. And I think, and this is why we're doing volume 1, because I actually, with Frank, um, re-edited issue 2, and we're adding new pages,
Oh,
moving some things around, because I think issue 1 was better at mystery, almost like a Twin Peaks like tale, murder mystery,
mhm.
in a way. And I think issue 2 was missed some of those elements. So we've created some new pages that'll be in this volume. Um, and we're gonna kind of come back to that sort of slow burn feeling in issue. Well, I don't know. Actually, issue three, not it's not a slow burn. I mean, it's actually pretty off the wall, nuts. So much blood, so much blood.
I'm in. I'm in. You don't have to say anything else. I'm in.
Well, because I think that there was so much writing and so much of characters talking to each other, and I remember telling
Yeah.
Frank, issue three is the first time that Frank Martin is writing the full script,
Oh,
taking that completely over from me. We just have lots of meetings about where it's going, what should happen. I have had to spend months divulging issue one and all those little things I'm telling you, so that they
yes.
come back, they make sense. Um, I said, my note to Frank, I said, well, here's my major note. It's got to be like Crazy Train. Just listen to like Ozzy Osbourne and write some of the most insane stuff. Remember, these are gods and
Yeah.
they're not playing around anymore. Like, it can't just be like lightning and like big, loud voices. No, it's got to be like humans are insignificant in the face of what you might have thought was just stories.
It's gonna get intense. I can't wait.
I hope so.
I'm excited. I'm excited just to get my hands on this one because again, I love finding new to me stories that like this is right up my alley. You know what I mean? Um, so being able to find stuff like this from awesome creators where it's like I can dig in, I think is super cool. Just so everybody's aware, this what's on the campaign right now is the 86 page volume. And so it's collected of it's both issues 1 and 2, correct? And then you
It's
said
issues
um,
one and two. In issue two, we had 9 flashback pages that are being moved toward to the end, so the story flows
yeah,
better. We're also adding 2 new pages that we felt there were some holes that didn't really and movement and story flow that kind of wasn't like, huh? So we're bringing the Raven back. I can say that
mhm,
much. And some things that were really I felt were important. And they really just need to be there. So this volume is an opportunity to just bring on new people, but people who've supported it before might find the reorganization, the editing, the new pages have a better flow and a better feel for the story. And plus, we're adding a few preview pages of issue three.
that's awesome.
Oh,
I mean,
and there's 24 pages of I did an edition. There's a picture of me at the end holding this 11 by 17 book I made.
where is it? It's down here.
Yeah, it's like kind of like towards there it is. So I made
That
this
was
I made this 11 by 17 comic and I sell them at conventions. And on the left side is just my pencils of these flashback pages. And on the right side is John Martin's inks and Jerome Gagnon's lettering. And so you could kind of see what we were doing as a team.
yeah,
Like I send the left page to John, John inks it, and then sends that page to Jerome. And so we just go back and forth. And there's a couple of pages of script from issue one. There's some my first ever penciling back in the scene, first ever sequential pencil
wow.
pages of Mortal Kombat 1. Notes I write to myself, like how it's got to move, how it's got to flow, notes. I don't do that anymore. I don't write notes to the letter.
No?
I had all these notes, like the lettering has to be, because I was like, I thought it would be easier if they could see it visually than just writing it in a script.
Yeah.
So
Some people, yeah, it just depends on who they are. And I think after, they do an issue or two, they kind of get the style and know how to continue. So just depends. So I always say this. I just want to remind everybody that running a campaign is the most important time for creators. It's what helps us guarantee that we get to continue our series and that you continue to get cool ass stuff. So please go support. We've dropped the link a few times and it's down there as well. I'm going to drop the link one more time. Here it is. So please go give it a look see. There's digital option, there's physical option. I'm going to highly recommend this series, of course, because I think it looks kick ass. So please go give it a look and show
well,
some
thank you,
support.
Laurie. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It's very, very kind of you.
It's important that we support indie comics, especially ones that, I mean, like this could be the next hot thing. Like Netflix could be at your door tomorrow. You never know. So I just think like, yeah, we should be promoting stuff like this and word of mouth. If you don't have funds to support, you can always give the campaign a share. Remember,
Mhm.
our algorithm only pushes us out so far on our own. It's like word of mouth, and sharing projects always makes a huge difference. So thank you everybody for sharing things around and showing support. We need that. In fact, I don't know about you, but whenever I run a campaign, I always feel like I'm getting hit from a bunch of different directions. And I have a video about that. I want to play it for you if I can find it. Here it is. You tell me if this is what you feel like. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I think I'm blurred. Am I blurred? Ow! Ow! Nose and lips! Okay, ow. Ah! No, can I... Ow, ow, ow. Ow! Wait! Ow! 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 Please, Mr. Oh!
Fiber.
Those are those it's not as bad as it used to be, right? But we used
No,
to
it's
get
not as
those
bad as it used to
scammers.
be.
They were
Yeah.
like, as soon as you launch, they were there in your inbox.
Oh, it's no, they're there before now. They they
Yeah.
they look for keywords that, they're scraping, social media, but I don't care anymore. What I don't like is this. I don't like if it's someone I kind of know in the community sending cold DMs.
It's hard. It's hard, and I feel bad
Hey, look,
because
I'm not judging. I really am
right.
not.
If you
If
got the
someone,
balls to send your message to 1,000 people, like it's all numbers, right? Someone might click yes on that. But me,
um,
I'm with you. Like if the only time you talk to me is when your Kickstarter is live, we don't really have a relationship. We're not really
well,
friends.
I might have a very different viewpoint, and I mean this like seriously. Of course, I want to fund, and I feel that I spend a lot of time calculating what that minimum funding goal is, and that is the minimum funding goal. I never put my dream goal because
Yeah.
it's just silly. We're gonna make the book, and all that needs to fund is this, and we're gonna make the book anyway.
Yeah.
I do not support for myself chasing, you know, the dollar signs or the quantity. I would rather have quality fans who really like this book. I did my best to share, and hopefully the sharing isn't like back my book, support me, make this happen. It's more like, hey, I've made this cool thing. These cool
Yeah.
people are involved. Check it out. If it's not for you, have an awesome day. Go find the book you like. And if you do like it, come on in. I
Yes.
don't need to be sending cold DMs and saying things like, we got to beat the algorithm. I'm not chasing algorithms. I am making comics. Man, I just turned 50 years old and I'm really grateful that I'm doing this and this is my career.
Yeah.
And anybody who wants to be on that journey, man, there's so much room available. If I find myself pushing, spamming, selling, then it just sucks the fun out of it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there is something to be said where I'm with you, where it's like, I know my stuff is good. People enjoy it. People just need to know I exist.
Well, of
But
course, absolutely, and they
but I
will.
also have the call to action. I want to make sure that I'm always like, hey, go check out the site. Or hey, if this is what you like, come support us, just because it's important. But again, I'm like you, I don't want to cold call people. I'm in my
You're
40s.
never gonna get a cold DM from me. Only if
Cold
look, if we've
emailing.
never talked before ever,
Mhm.
like, that's the first message. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's weird. I was probably gonna support it anyway. I understand there's like, hey, maybe you didn't know this was happening. We're all
Right.
busy. You know, but at the same time, I don't know. I just feel like maybe you got to word it differently. I was asked to help beat the algorithm, and that was enough for me to be like, nope.
Again, I think that when you have cool stuff, when you have good stuff, it speaks for itself. And it's just a matter if people know you exist and if it's something that they like.
Mhm.
Because if they like it, they'll come along. And
They will. And we've made these books. You, me, thousands of other people have made these books. They're not going anywhere.
right.
And it doesn't have to happen tomorrow or overnight or next year.
Oh, and it won't, people.
Right. It could
It
take
takes
time. And I
time.
just think that you can only sell so much when you just have to let it breathe, gain its organic, natural steam, if it will. And
Yeah.
if it has legs to stand on. I mean, I think you're really great at audience building. I think I watch what you do, and I think you've like you have a community, you have people that love you and adore you, and
Ooh.
so you do a lot of things right. And I get the feeling you would do them anyway. Like you would
Yeah.
just do them because it's just Lori being Lori, and I think that's what you got to do. Just be yourself
Mhm.
and make the book. And you've been making Pale Rider for quite some time now.
Yeah, I wrote it in 2018 and we started 2020 and then crashed and burned and then picked up again in 2022 and
Yeah.
it's
And
been
and it
fun.
shows it, and it's like, however long it takes. I think you have to honor the organic strategy as well. You have to, or sort of like let things be in the world, and you could, because I drive myself crazy. Oh, I've got to get on. I've got to write these people and be like, oh, we're launching a campaign in 2 months. Can I be on your podcast? Can I get a review? And then I'm like, well, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of my method too, is I try to be on as many podcasts as I can, when campaign is live, but I have this I don't know, maybe it's a mental illness. Where it's like, if I do everything I possibly can, and then when it closes, you know what I mean? Like, that's the best that we could do in that time because
Well,
I pushed as
100%.
hard as I could. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. And so whether we go up from last time or we're slightly down from last time, that's the most that we could have gotten because we all pushed as hard as we could.
Right.
But if I'm like, if I have a day off and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, wow, I should be in marketing.
Well, absolutely, and I'm not saying, and I agree.
Yeah.
There has to be just be a balance,
There needs to be a balance.
and be like, well, that's why you know, we make these floppies so they can be collected into self-contained stories,
Mhm.
and that's really where I think you're going to gain more new
Yes.
fans. More new fans. You also have an evergreen product that it could be 5 years from now. All of a sudden something happens that you never even planned on, and you've got these new fans. And you wrote that book 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and you're on to like doing different stuff. I mean, you just never know.
Lou Lou cracks me up. Lou Pons is great, by the way. She's in this show, and then she follows a lot of podcasts, and she's an incredibly talented artist, but um, she's so funny, and she's so poignant with her comments, but, she's part of the Path of the Pill Writer group, and I was like, you'll be" whenever I run a campaign, I'm like, "You'll be seeing a lot of me. I'm going on a bunch of things." And she was like, "Do you wanna share the list?" And so I shared the list and people were blown away. They were like, "You do all of this?" And I was like, "Uh-huh. This is normal." You know?
It's a normal day in the life of Lori.
Mhm.
You
I'm
know.
like and when I'm not on the podcast, I planned out the social media for the month, and I'm building reels, and I'm dressed up as Big James, and I'm rolling down
Yeah.
hills, and I'm
But you're doing a lot of fun, cool things, not
yeah.
spam, and you're not spamming people. You're just
No, I
like,
just show off the
it's
cool
like,
stuff that we do. We have a lot of cool stuff. That's
well, you know
it.
what I mean? I think
That's it.
creators like you have created a brand. I guess I don't want to sound so corporate,
Mhm.
but you're very inviting and welcoming. I think that's it. That's all you got to do is build a brand and then be very welcoming to those people.
And that's it. That's all we can do.
Make hot sauce
Um
candies. I'm
And then
failing.
pour hot sauce on people. Yes,
I'm,
that's what we do. And
I'm
I'm
fair.
still waiting for my mustache, Brandon Starochi. If you're around,
Oh
I
God.
he shaved. I think he shaved it off, but he hasn't sent it to me yet. So I'm still waiting to receive my mustache in the mail so I can mount it on my wall somewhere. But yeah, that's the show, you guys. Here we are at an hour 50. Time just flies by on the show
I
because we have
know.
a good time.
Yeah.
So Gerald, why don't you share with everybody your socials, where they can find you, if you're going to any Comic Cons in the next, few weeks or so, so people can maybe even meet you in person. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Yes, please come find me in person so I can sorely disappoint you. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I'm
Chad's not in the chat anymore.
all right. That one was for Chet. If I didn't say it, he'll say it. Um, uh, yeah, my socials are. There's only one, Gerald von Stoddard. It's usually G von Stoddard or G von Stoddard Art. Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram. Um, I am on TikTok. I'm trying to do more process videos on TikTok. I'm actually working on a very exclusive con cover for the show, and I'll be painting that later, and I'll be filming it.
Ooh.
And so I'm using that for TikTok. Those seem to go over really well, and I enjoy doing them. I used to like film with one hand and draw with the other,
Oh my
but I
gosh.
actually bought a setup, and so I'm ready to go. Big light, tripod, everything.
Thanks, Carrie. Squishies. Are you planning on being at any Comic Cons in the near future?
Yeah. So not this month. I will be the first one in October. There might be one early on. I'm just waiting to hear back. That's more my local comic shop signing.
Ah,
I might be going up to Jetpack Comics in New Hampshire.
mm,
Also in October, I'll be at Baltimore Comic Con. Not my own table. I'll be tabling with David Byrne and Metal Ninja Studios and doing sketch cards, things like that. I will have a few
cool.
books. And then I know I'm doing. I just like the poster, and I got asked to be a guest. It's sort of like a. It's I can't tell what kind of convention it is. Comics are not the first. It's
What's it called?
Dead Man's Hand Expo, and it's a lot
Okay.
of. It's prime. Well, it very much highlights tattoo artists, and it has all my favorite things: tattooing, comic books, heavy metal. So I'm super stoked to
Yeah.
check it out and ask me to be a guest. And I'll be there in Albany, New York in later October, 24th to 26th.
Cool.
And then that's going to be it. I'll be back in Italy in November.
Do you go to Italy multiple times a year, or is it like half the year in the US, half the year in Italy? I'm just
Well,
curious.
yeah, I mean, my family is
Your
there.
family's in Italy?
And so, I mean, I have family here in New York too. But so it's not exactly half and half. It's maybe 7 months in Italy, 5 months in the US.
That would make more sense if your family is in Italy. Yeah. Be there.
So I try to do 6 and 6 because I have. I'm not going to get into it, but yes, I have family on both countries.
Oh,
But
goodness.
technically I live in both. So it is a lot of back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some great stuff going on in Italy too. I'm trying to make more of a presence in Europe. And if anybody knows Jonathan Hedrick and Francesca Fantini, they moved not that far from me.
Can we
Last
hear some Italian?
like for real. Sure. I don't know. Buongiorno, come stai? Sto bene. Io sono un fumettista e vivo in America e Italia di Firenze, vicino di Firenze, ma un villaggio è Grassina.
I got some of that. You go to Italy and America, and there's really no difference. Is that what you said? So my difference?
Uh, no, that it's the comune of Firenze, but it's near there in a little town called Grassina.
Lou just posts pizza.
Pizza! It's a me,
Oh
Mario.
my goodness. Translated to Japanese. No, maybe not Japanese, but what about Italian? Didn't you mention that you were gonna do
I wonder why Japanese. That's interesting.
I don't know.
I did study Japanese for a long time.
Interesting.
Yeah. I can say everything I said in Italian and Japanese, but I won't bother
That's
to do
crazy.
that.
We gotta wrap the show up, you guys.
Oh, okay.
How come you show up at the end and start asking really good questions?
Yeah, I
You
know.
show up like earlier and ask questions in the no chat? No? Yes? I love you guys. Anywho, let me see. Am I gonna be at con? Yes, I am gonna be at a Comic-Con September 27th and 28th, I think. It's that
Where?
weekend. I'm going to be in Oklahoma at Red River Comic-Con in Ardmore. So if you are in Oklahoma or North Texas, it's really pretty close to North Texas. So you can come see me there. There's going to be a ton of people that I know there, like Ken Salinas, Lacey Kruger, William Russell, I think is going to be there. Chris Hayes. Like there's going to be a ton of people there. So come see us at Red River. The only thing I can't take is the hot sauce because it's not Texas. So can't take the food stuff out of state. Just so you know.
The
But come pick up
candies,
some
can
food.
you?
Huh?
Can you take the candies?
I have to double check that because anything that's made out of my kitchen that's under the Texas
Oh.
cottage law, I have to
Okay.
sell in Texas because FDA approval is really crazy. But anywho, be excellent to each other, kiss your babies, and join us next week on the Tuesday Morning Brew. I'm going to have an LCS owner on the store next week, Shadow Wilsley. So tune in for that. You guys can ask him a ton of questions and see what it's like to own a store and to close its doors. Sadly, the store that Shadow was managing was called Carpe Diem. It was a great store in McKinney and is no more. So it's an interesting process that they go through, but it's going to be a good show. You're going to want to ask questions. So make sure you tune in next week. And I got to play some ads before we run out of time. So thank you all. Join us on Thursday for a Path of the Pale Rider RPG. We're going to be playing. We walked ourselves into a camp of Carls. We got to figure that out. I think we're all going to die. But it'll be fun. So tune in on Thursday. And then please tune in to all the wonderful programming we have throughout the week. We have movies. We have a ton of draw streams. We have music. We have interviews. We have it all. So tune into the Madness Entertainment Group and please go sign up for the Roku. We're just kicking it off and it's going to keep on going. So catch you all next week. Bye.
Ozzy, what are you doing? Come and have a look at this lovely book that was sent over.
You're wrapping in the perpendicular.
Oh, go on and spit the bat out your mouth. No one can understand you like that.
Very now. 6 out of 5 dentists and all.
Oh, well, that's not much better. Ozzy, why don't you sing to me? I can always understand you when you sing to me.
Fucking my brains. What is this my publisher sent me? Inked in black with art so sweet.
So what do you think? Do you like it?
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Oooooo